There we go. We are live on YouTube with the Thursday Rockstarflipper YouTube channel show. And it looks like we've already got a bunch of people in the chat room, as I suspected we would. And tonight we have an awesome show. We're going to have our normal Q&A, but we have a very, very special guest tonight. You guys may or may not recognize her. She's a little new to YouTube, but I did link her channel and Instagram the other night. It's Katherine from Katherine's Closet, and she is a newer eBay seller. She's awesome. She's already put up some videos that you guys are going to be able to check out, which I linked down below. But I'm going to stop talking and let her introduce herself to all of you. So Katherine, say hello and tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hi, my name's Katherine. I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and one of the things that you'll probably get to know more and more about me is that I'm a college student at LSU, and I'm a freshman. I'm majoring in mechanical engineering, and I love reselling because as a college student, I have the freedom to kind of do what I want, set my own hours. You know, if I have to do something one time and something else another, I can. So that's one of the reasons I started reselling. And
that's the freedom side of it, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest appeal.
So the thing that Katherine just said that blows me away, and of course the other night I checked out her channel and I've seen her a few days ago. She's a mechanical engineer at LSU, which LSU is an amazing college. I mean, most of you know Louisiana State, big football,
Go Tigers.
Big football college. For those of you that don't already know that, huge football town.
Oh yeah.
And it's not an easy school to get into. I know that. I do have a friend from way back that ended up at LSU. I think he transferred, but I know it wasn't easy to get into. And I can't imagine it's very easy in mechanical engineering. That is like way over rock star level. So why mechanical engineering? What is it about it? What is that? I mean, I know what it is, but why? What's the draw from it?
So I think from like the start, my mom was a mechanical engineer. So I grew up in that environment and knowing she was in business and knowing what it was like. And also it was one of those things like, you know, when you're in 6th and 7th grade, you don't want to do what your parents do. You know, you want to be different, right? And we took one of those aptitude tests. Mm-hmm. And I mean, spot on every time, like 2 years in a row, engineering. And, you know, my mom loved it, of course, right? Thought it was the best thing. And so I went with it. And as I progressed through high school and I started calculus and pre-cal and trig and everything, I realized that math was my favorite subject. Math was like my easy subject.
Yes, the first one to go with me on the math. Everyone that comes on here hates numbers and hates math. So I've got
math is my favorite. Like, it's the best. It's easy. Like, there's a rule for everything and you follow it. Like, that's what I hated English because it was like, oh, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's this.
Numbers are just straightforward. Numbers just click. Those of us that are good at math, especially people like you that can get into engineering, the numbers they just work for us. And I know a lot of people are going to hate on me for this later that hate math, because I know in one of the shows a ton of you guys were so anti-math. But I believe in being a business owner and entrepreneur, especially as long as I've done it. Numbers are so important. You always hear on like Shark Tank and all that, know your numbers. It's really important.
Yeah.
If you're not, Steve from Florida says he's a math teacher. So at least we have one more. Katherine is so cute. Totally going to subscribe from Aaron. And somebody, I didn't see who it was, said that.
I like that.
They said they love your accent. I didn't see who that was.
Oh my gosh. Dude, okay, hold on. Like, I almost peed myself. So I was going through the comments, right? Just seeing what everyone was saying. And I don't remember the name. And I should probably look it up and shout them out. But they said, Katherine, it was like a Jake from State Farm joke, except with my name. And like, no, Katherine with reseller charm or Southern charm. That's what it was. And I was like, do I seriously have that much of an accent? Because I never thought I did. But as I like listened to myself, I was like, oh my God, why am I so Southern? Like, it never.
Well, you live about as Southern as you can get. So.
Before this, I lived even farther south. I lived in southeastern-ish Texas.
What city? Because we have a couple people in Southeast Texas, and I believe they're in the chat right now.
Okay, so I say Houston to people who've never been to Texas, Baytown to people who've traveled on I-10, and then Mont Bellevue. That's the small town I lived in, population like 5,000. Oh. So it's like I narrow it down as people
We've
realize
got
the city.
Shelly, Shelly Middlebrooks. I don't know if she's in the chat right now. She usually is. She's from Galveston, just outside of Galveston.
Oh yeah, that's like an hour away, I think.
And then Jamie, who is our resident troll. We love Jamie, but he lives in Southwest Texas. And Jamie, I can't ever remember your town name, but whenever you jump in here and hear it, tell me. But and we have a ton of people. Houston. Somebody said they were in South Padre. That's right, South Padre Island, the party town, right? Yeah.
There he is. Hold on, J.A. Manfredi. That's who made the Katherine from Southern Charm joke.
Why am I not surprised that it was?
I was like just scrolling through and I like read it and I was like, wait, what is that?
Funny.
What is that connecting to? And then
he'll come up with some comments sometimes. Tino lives in Fort Worth. He does, and CG Barn is in San Antonio. So
San Antonio has a good Benz, doesn't it? I think I remember.
I believe they do. Yeah. Somebody was asking if you're in the path of the storm. Really great question. I don't want to get off topic, but I think you're good. You're east of it enough.
We're gonna get a lot of rain, but I did want to say something tonight to everyone because where it's going is where I lived. I mean, right. I know it, and I lived on a river, and during Ike, it actually flooded our basement up to like 3 feet. So,
oh yeah. So
I wanted to shout out to that tonight.
Yeah,
everyone be safe.
Yeah, if you guys are in that area, please look out. And I have very good friends who live in here in Florida who works out of the Dallas area. He's actually east of Dallas. He's in like Grand Prairie, Irving area. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much flooding or rain they're going to get. But Gary and Yvonne, I know you both watch my show, at least on replay. His wife left town to go visit him, and then the storm just hit. So, guys, I talked to you earlier. Please be safe. The new house, please be careful. Don't get flooding. And if you need us to do anything, please let us know. So everyone in Texas, please be careful. I got the updates all day about that. So hopefully it just rains a lot and everybody's cool. So, all right. So we're going to move on from that. And what's the reselling? So if you guys didn't see Catherine's video the other night, she did a little video about her and how she got started. It's a great story. And I think a lot of you guys, especially the newer sellers, are going to relate. What was that moment, that time that you were like, here it is. This is what I want to do. Tell us that story that you put on your channel the other night.
Yeah. Okay. So my boyfriend's in the Air Force and his friend lives in Nashville. And I saw some people were in Nashville. And my boyfriend and I have always loved like going to small thrift stores, you know, just searching around. And his friend told him about a place called the Goodwill Outlet or the Bins and how you buy things by the pound. And so, you know, Jacob came back from work that day and he was like, Katherine, you are not going to believe this. You know, you got to look up this place. And so I did research on it. And it's funny, Casey, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I looked up Goodwill Bins like into YouTube and the first video was yours. And so you were actually the first person, I kind of have to thank you, that introduced me to reselling through the bins.
That's what I get for posting these Goodwill Outlet stuff. People are up 3 a.m., but I'm keeping them from sleeping because people are searching.
No, seriously, I watched everyone, like all the resellers. I mean, like Lindy, Golden Finger Picker, who's in your area. Like I watched everyone to the point where at 3 a.m. I was still sitting on the couch with my laptop, and my boyfriend walked out of our bedroom and was looking at me like, what the hell are you still doing? And I was like, I'm busy. Like I was setting up a business plan like from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. Like as soon as I saw it, I said, this is perfect. Like this is what I want to do.
Well, that's a similar story. And I'll tell you, back when I started, so my eBay account, this account is a couple years old. I had my personal account for a couple years. And after I realized I was serious and I changed to the business account, that's when I would say it was 3, maybe 4 years ago, before the Goodwill outlets were even really popular. I learned from Bonafide Hustler, from Chris. I discovered Chris sometime around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I tell him this all the time. And I'm pretty sure before the end of the morning, Chris was getting like 500 views a day on his YouTube channel at the time. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure his YouTube channel must have got 1,500 views by the next morning. There's no way it didn't, because I was like watching and repeating Chris's channel. So I did the same thing. And for the next
you can't not
2 weeks straight, that's all I was doing was watching channels. So Josh Furch says the Bins. Yes, it's a nickname for the Goodwill Outlet pay by the pound store locations. You can Google that or look it up on YouTube at 3 in the morning and you'll find all about it.
Yes. Sorry if I'm not responding to the chat. I'm trying to look at both and see everything. So
sometimes I'm slow. If you guys don't know, on the live shows, we don't see the chat here. So we have to open a second screen, or you have to have like an iPad or something. So we have to click back and forth. So if you have questions, you can hold them until closer to the end. That way I can focus on the chat. I'm trying to pull a few out, but we kind of have an outline, and then I'll take all the questions you guys want to bomb her with. Don't ask me any, ask her, because you only get one shot with her. At least for now. We'll have her back. I'm just kidding. So we have 145 people watching. Make sure you give a thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Let's move on. I have, like I said, a little outline, some questions I want to cover with her. And she just gave us the aha moment, the why. And how soon after you had that, you were at the outlets, like pretty much right away, right?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I saw that video at 3 a.m. Within the next 2 days, I set up my business PayPal. I set up my eBay. I started an eBay store immediately. I have a thrift store that's actually like a mile down the road. I went there to see what, prices were like, because I had gone there for, like LSU t-shirts and casual clothes, but I was looking at prices. I was setting up spreadsheets. I mean, I dove in. I didn't, I guess it was kind of ridiculous because my boyfriend came upstairs, and I'm actually in our upstairs office, now my office. It was ours, but that's gone.
Took it.
Yeah, I took it.
It happens.
But,
it happens.
Yeah. As soon as the lights went up and the background went up, he gave. He was like, okay. I mean,
it's over.
It's yours. Yeah, the closet is filled with clothes.
As thrifters and resellers, your significant others or family will not fight you. Trust me, they know it's a losing situation.
Yeah, especially if you're doing clothes or hard goods, not like small items, and you go to Walmart and come back with like 20, multiple gallon, like 20-gallon bins.
Or the big garbage bags. That's what we always bring home.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And the closet that went, like when we moved in, I was like, this is going to be our office closet, because we moved in about a year ago. I was like, this is going to be our closet. I'll have everything set up. That place is, it's gone. It's bins now. Like there's no going back.
So awesome and depressing how fast it gets filled up.
It does. And it was, I only have at this point 100 items listed in my store. Like it's small, and I try and keep up with it, but school just started. So things are getting crazy, and the closet's already filled. I was like, I don't know. What I'm going to have to convert the attic or something, because it's getting crazy already.
Is that your mom in the chat, Carol Kelly?
I might be. She said she was going to. Yep, that is her.
Catherine's mom. My mom comes in the chat all the time. She's not here yet.
She was like, because I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on live and whatnot. And she was like, oh, I want to watch. And I was like, you can shout out, because his mom's there all the time.
She is. My mom is. So that's all. And she says that you don't do anything halfway, which listen, guys, she's in school for mechanical engineering, which I can barely even say. So that tells you something. And drifting on top of it and the whole deal. So I hear a lot of you guys making excuses. Stop making excuses. And you just started last week back to school, right?
Yeah, Monday. No, this Monday. Yeah.
So there you go. You're going to have ridiculous homework and projects and stuff, because mechanical engineering, like they have to teach you stuff. Speaking of, what do you intend to do with that degree? What is your end game with that?
So
for now, you can change it. I won't hold you to it.
Yeah, no, I, especially living in Texas, Louisiana, doing project managing and plants is always like the typical route. And it always depends, because especially with mechanical engineering, it's very versatile. Nearly every company, no matter what it is, automotive. I could major in mechanical and minor in automotive, which I told you about Jacob and his obsession with BMWs. He tried to push that. I told him that is not happening. I said, there is no way.
So those people that get that job go to Greenville, South Carolina. That's where the U.S. worldwide distribution plant for BMW and engineering is. That's where my car was put together. So you'd have to be ready to go to South Carolina.
Don't tell him that. Because he was saying we need to move to Germany. He was like, we need to move to Europe. I said,
yeah, the cars are built in Heidelberg and BMW's factory, but they build the parts and then they ship them over here to put them together. So
okay.
South Carolina is where the main plant is. I think they have some other locations, but that's where a majority the SUVs are. So you could get a job there. I bet they pay good. For the price of the cars, they better.
Yeah, I better earn at least one car price per every
Thomas,
6 months or something.
Thomas Wilkinson just had the comment of the year.
Oh my
Thomas, I can
gosh.
count on you. She needs to build a robotic listing machine.
I took robotics in high school. I mean,
Of
I'll work
course you
on it.
did.
Of course. What
This
else
is
would I have been doing?
your channel. It's all you. Much smarter than the rest of us. Good. Oh, that's funny. So I heard or I seen a couple people who commented they did see your. Or I saw it before, and I think I just seen it now about your store. She does have 100 items. I don't link people's eBay stores because I don't feel comfortable doing that. I know it's linked on your channel.
Yeah, I did. I do have it in the description of my videos.
Right. So her channel, her YouTube channel is below, and her eBay store will be in the description box. That way, it kind of, if anyone wants to go check it out, you can. I just never feel comfortable linking people's eBay stores. I just have never done that.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure about linking my own because
right.
you don't want it to seem. I'm not trying to sell items to everyone.
Right.
This is completely about myself.
Right. The selling side is just something that we provide because people like to see what we're doing. If we're going to tell them what we're doing, like to see it. The troll side to it, and honestly, with as many people that I have come through, I have never had anyone troll the store, and maybe once or twice I've thought that it was happening, but it's really not a big deal. You guys are awesome. I tell everyone I have the best YouTube viewers on YouTube, and I'll put them up against anyone. So. If you do want to check her store out, though, please do. If you want to buy something, it's even better.
Hey, I have one-day handling. I do it. I bring it after school. I bring it with me in my car, put it in the trunk, and then go to the post office as soon as I leave class. So I promise it'll get shipped because I have class every day.
There you go. So no excuses to everyone who tells me they can't get up and ship every day. I'm tired of hearing those excuses. And I'm not a mean person, but everyone that gives me excuse, I'm a mean to. So I even made a video about being mean. And obviously she's a clothes seller, so I know a lot of you guys are into clothes. Why is it clothes because of what you saw on YouTube or just what you're drawn to? And like what kind of clothes? Like what's your favorite? What kind of stuff do you like selling?
So it was a little bit of both, I want to say. So when I first started, obviously the bulk of it was clothes. What I was saying, but also I find that the most interesting. And I've tried thrifting hard goods, and maybe it's just the selection I have around me. But one day I went to a thrift store and I sat there for like 2 hours looking up nearly every item I saw, and it was just nothing, and I don't enjoy hard goods as much. I like clothes. I think it's more fun. It's just what I enjoy. So I figured if I'm going to choose one thing to resell, it's going to be clothes.
Right. It's for me, it's the storage. It's the shipping is easy because you know what everything's going to cost to ship. With bigger hard goods stuff, sometimes you don't know and it's iffy. Clothes, you can kind of, even though I know we all struggle with pricing a lot, you kind of have a general idea of what stuff is worth. We all know that a Hollister shirt is going to sell for $10. There's no way you're going to get 50 for it. So you're not kind of guessing at stuff. So it makes it a little bit easier. And obviously clothes is the most readily available item. For those of you that don't know, and I pulled this number from one of the management crew at Corporate Goodwill, 200 million pounds. That's 200 million pounds of donated clothes are sold through Goodwill every year.
Gosh.
That's not what they trash compact. 200 million pounds. I'll have to pull the link, but I do have it. I'll link somebody that. That's just their sales. So imagine at least twice that is going through the trash compactor, dumpster, overseas, whatever. That's an incredible number. So when you have that much, and I know people are like, oh, that saturates the market. But you know what? There ain't another person in the world that has this Porsche Polo. Just saying, you're not competing. I mean, it's rare that the shirt that you have is showing up on eBay twice.
Yeah, and especially with stuff like I think it was in the whole video. I just uploaded, I think 2 days ago. But I went to this tiny thrift store I'd never been to before. I think it was like a church thrift store based, and everything was bulk priced. So everything was $2. Like all dresses were $2, except for homecoming, prom. And they don't look at the brands. I mean, I could tell because, yeah. And this was the first time I had been there. And to be honest, it was in a little sketchy area. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot, And I went in, and that's where I found that Lily Pulitzer dress.
Oh, see that? $2.
Exactly. And it, that's like, I stress that in the video too, because I mean, I've done it, where you're like, oh, it's not, maybe I won't go there. But that's where I found Lily Pulitzer. I found Trina Turk. Never heard of that.
And then
And
it turns out to be worth a lot. And I didn't know that either
yeah,
until and this is the reason why I stalk a lot of eBay seller stores. I learned so many brands, especially BHFO. They sell every brand known to man.
yeah.
And that's where I found out that brand. I've never seen it. I've never gotten it. But if I see it, I'm going to know to get it. So.
And that's what I was telling people. That label, I mean, not to like diss the brand, but it was like white and black. It looked very basic. It's kind of, you can sometimes tell by the label, right? You can look at Ann
Yeah.
Taylor Loft label and see like, oh, that's nicer. And then, yeah. Then I looked at that and I was like, oh, I'll look it up, right? It's $2. Oh, retails for $300. Okay. I'll take that, like
all day. And
yeah,
there's
exactly.
millions of brands. And I used to be in the habit of just like flipping past. And now I'm like, I look like an amateur looking stuff up, but I'll tell you what, there have been brands like that I've skipped over. And
Yeah.
I think about it later and I'm like, wow, that was just like a $400 shirt, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I should have grabbed it. Hello.
Exactly. And like, it's incredible because, you sometimes like when I go to the Goodwill in my area, they look at everything. And
Do
I
they?
can, yeah, no, they look at everything. I mean, I was looking at I think it was like a Tommy Hilfiger dress. Nothing crazy, right? Oh, they wanted, 19.99. And it's like, excuse me? Like, one, people who are shopping here don't want to pay $20 for anything.
No, absolutely not.
No matter what it is, unless it's like a prom dress, maybe, right? Or a wedding dress,
No,
but
there
not
are
a
some.
casual,
A couple, maybe a week or two ago, I was videoing in Goodwill Retail, and they had like, it was like a kid's jersey from a football player that's not even in football anymore, and it was like $24.99. I'm like, oh, are you serious? Like some of these
yeah.
stores are taking it a little too seriously, and I know people think that like they look on YouTube. I don't imagine a lot of them do, maybe some of them, but there's some people that just think they look at something and think they know what it's worth and price it, and it's just so bad. But then you get the stores that sell you Lily Pulitzer for $2. So.
Yeah, no, and I was amazed. Like when I saw the print, I might have peed my pants a little bit. And then I saw the pink tag and I truly like I have never been I was so happy. I mean,
You're like,
yeah, no. I mean, I threw it in my cart because there was a lady standing next to me and there were like 3 people in the whole store. And there was a lady standing next to me and I think she saw it and I snatched that thing off the rack so fast.
we're gonna do the reseller, like the reseller race, because it happens at the bins, it happens at Salvation Army. When I got those Burberry Brit shirts last week, there was somebody following me there, and I was like,
oh
I
my
grabbed the
gosh.
whole rack of clothes because I wasn't sure which one were Burberry and which one weren't, and then I pulled them all out. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
No, and that's a problem I had. Oh my gosh. When I went, so I told y'all about how I learned about the bins from Jacob's friend that lives in Nashville. We actually took a trip to Nashville and I went to the bins and I got some good stuff. Definitely. I mean, I probably spent 4 hours there in total over like Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, those people, I don't know if it was just the people there or if it's like that where you live, but they were ruthless. I mean, I had a lady standing next to me. Oh my gosh. So I was like, they said go, and it's just a clothes bin. I'm looking through it. She takes her hand, like, so here's her, here's me. Takes her hand and just scoops in front of me and takes all the clothes.
Yep.
Doesn't even look at it, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. You want to be rude? I'll scoot over. Scoots over again and
Yep.
scoops it up.
She's waiting for the next. And it's bad. They stopped it at our bins, thank God. But people were taking everything, taking what they wanted, and then putting the rest back. Yeah, and it was getting bad. They finally, we have a good manager now. She's put a stop to that, which is why I kind of stopped going for a few weeks. She lost control of it, and they upgraded her from assistant to the actual manager. And now she sees people doing that. You're gone for the day. Catch you later.
That was like when I was in Nashville. They wouldn't take the clothes and put it in their basket. They would just kind of hoard it in front of them, which, I mean, it's rude, but whatever, right? Yeah. The shoes, nobody cared. I mean, they would just scoop up everything and stick it in their basket and then toss what they didn't want back. And I mean, it got so bad to the point where they had to, because what it was, there were a lot of people there who were sending clothes back to like their families in different
Yeah, they ship them
countries.
overseas. Yeah.
Yeah, and with the shoes, it was especially bad. It got so bad to the point where Jacob's friend told me that they had to like they do shoes at random times now because they used to do it at like every morning at a certain time, and now they have to switch it up so that people don't hoard
Oh,
in.
that's pretty smart, actually.
Yeah,
Kate stopped going to the bins with me because she was just like ready to, and she's like really calm. She was ready to knock someone out. Like it was on. I was like, I'm not
that
bringing you
lady,
back here. You're gonna get me kicked out of here.
that lady standing next to me, and she was chewing gum and kept popping it, which
Oh,
just added to the irritating level. Like as I was trying to look through,
oh
and I
no.
was especially irritated because Nashville is like a good 9 hour drive from here. So I was like, this was my time to go to these bins, especially because we don't have any, good bins here in Louisiana. So I was like, this is my time, right? And then this lady kept stealing. I had to
No
just
way.
walk away, go to a different bin because I was on edge.
Because of me being regular at mine, there's a few people that I know are ruthless, and there's a lot of people. So I used to want to be the one that like shoved them out of my way. And I see a couple people saying in the chat that they elbow people and push back. And I used to do that, but now I've started making jokes and making fun and making friends with people. And this is the reason why. A lot of the overseas, most of my bins is full of, and this is not, don't take this the wrong way. They are overseas. They are Haitians, 100%. They speak French Creole, and they are shipping clothes overseas. And they are not buying the same style brand items that I want. Most of the stuff that they buy, I would never touch. And most of the stuff that I buy, they throw over their shoulder, and I'm just catching it because I'm like, I know they're not buying. I've had them hand me Eileen Fisher. I've had them hand me Johnny Was. I've had them hand me Tommy Bahama. They're like, oh, I don't want it. I'm like, whoop. So I've learned to catch more flies with honey with these girls because they are ruthless. They're fighters. They will whoop me. I'm not even going to try it. And
just leave.
Yeah, and so instead of pushing and shoving, and there's a few that I still will that I'm not real thrilled with, but most of them, I'm like, I hand them the stuff they want, and they hand me the stuff I want. So it depends on where you are, but I've been able to kind of work it out. So everything's good. And a lot of them have figured out who I am, sort of, which is a little odd as well because I didn't think they watch YouTube, but apparently a couple of them do. So now they're nicer to me. So thank you if you are watching me and you go to the St. Pete bins. Thank you ahead of time for not being mean to me.
Oh my gosh. I just saw that Nike boxes. These dudes gave me 7 for all mankind.
Yep.
And my God.
Yeah, some of them don't buy that stuff and they'll just hand it to you. It's really nice. So,
and see, that's what I'm talking. Whenever I was talking about how that Goodwill will mark it up, the thrift store that I normally go to, they do the same thing. And a lot of the things they get wrong, like they don't know brands, right? Whoever's pricing. Because I found Bowden shirts they have for like $3.99, but I go on student discount day, which is 50% off. So I pay $1.99 for a nice like Bowden shirt or Bowden dress. But like,
can't beat it. And some place, I guess it depends on the employee. I mean, I guess some people don't. Yeah. They don't look it up. I don't know. Well, out of all the stuff that you're doing, this is the best question. This is a question I get all the time, even now, years later. Why YouTube? Why do you want to share what you're doing, what you're selling? And I don't mean like how or what you're doing, just in general. Why do you want to put it out and show people your experience? Why YouTube? What possibly drove you insane to do YouTube? That's my real question.
Yeah, I guess. So I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I'd been talking to Jacob about it, and I was like, God, I want to do YouTube because for me, that's why I learned everything. I mean, I learned everything from shipping to packaging to sourcing to listing, how to make a title. I mean, it was all on YouTube. So I had always kind of had interest in it. But what I think really pushed me was I was thinking about it one day and I was like, all the people I watched, it was a struggle sometimes because, I watched Lindy, you, State's Place, all big sellers. And it was hard for me to compare. It was hard for me to think of where they're at. How do I even start? At what point do I start? Yeah. And it's whenever like y'all have the bins, y'all have a routine. So what made me want to do YouTube was try and teach people, not even at a certain like age or audience, but just how to start it because it's a hard process. And right now I've only done like haul videos and who I am.
Yeah.
But I want to get into, one haul videos because it's fun. It's interesting to talk about what you find, what you paid. But I also want to
It
show
is.
people like how do you ship? Because when you start, like you have no idea. You don't know how to, you don't know you need a scale. You have no idea that if you can't round down, you have to round up. So things like, yeah, because when I first started, I was like, oh, I'll just round. It's a post office. Will they look at it? And I never actually like did it and got messed up. But when I was first looking at videos,
She's lying. We all did it. Guilty.
I don't know. No one ever got overcharged actually. Because when I first started, I went and watched Just Another Seller.
Uh-huh.
And she has and I will recommend this to everyone. And I haven't talked to her or anything, but she has an excellent shipping video. It's like an hour and a half long, but she was the only reason I knew how to ship. Like she screen shared and showed like even the basic stuff that now I would be like, oh, I should have known that, right? But she shared it all. So that definitely is what helped me a lot.
Yeah. So the shipping is probably the one question I get asked the most by pretty much 50%. I mean, obviously the new sellers, but even some experienced sellers still have shipping problems to this day. And I get why it's confusing. And as long as I've done it, like I get like to comparing options and looking at weight versus, FedEx, Smart Post or UPS Ground or whatever. And I think back to when I learned shipping and the only thing I knew how to ship was a first class item. And as soon as it went over a pound, I was like, uh-oh. Like I would avoid anything that felt like it was over a pound because I didn't want to try to figure out how to ship it.
Yeah, because it's hard, and especially with, like that's one of my reservations going into just looking at hard goods. Like the other day I was at Goodwill. I don't think I have them upstairs here with me, but I saw some made in Mexico La Talavera pottery, and I was like, this looks cool. It was like $1 a piece. Whatever, right? I'll get it. And I think some of them actually did good on it, but I need to list them. But that's one of my reservations about hard goods is that takes shipping to a whole nother level.
Nice.
Like with clothes, you can usually stick to like flat rate mailers and, first class generally, or maybe like, medium flat rate boxes. But
There's still stuff I have in stock that when it sells, I'm going to be like I'm going to dread printing. It'll be the last shipping label. You know how you print stuff and you skip certain ones because you're like, no, I don't want to do that. So those will be those will be the items. I just want to shout out to K Rillin 876. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. He says the ladies at his bins always look at the suits and cashmere like they're crap, and he laughs at them. It happens. We get good stuff. I see him pass on stuff all the time. So thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Nice. I never find much. I feel like they know. No, I don't think the ladies, not at mine at least, they don't know so much. And some people were mentioning that they wanted to ship overseas. Use the global shipping program. Don't try to mess with direct international. There are a few items that I have shipped directly international. To this day, I only know 3 countries back of my hand shipping. I know Canada, I know Australia, which is a huge customer base, and I know the UK. Outside of those 3 countries, I would never attempt to ship something directly international. And if it was a bigger item, I probably wouldn't do it to those either, even though I know their shipping rates. And that's literally me 3 years of learning those international rates. Just use the global shipping program. Like literally, it's so easy.
I've always had global shipping on. I mean, for as long as I've done it, and I've never had an item go global. So I don't know what no, not yet. Surprisingly.
It's not like, I would say, so my global shipping, I've bought some of those soccer jerseys that are like Ronaldo and Cutter Airs and all that. So those will usually go overseas. They're much bigger there. If you can get like Burberry is the 4 Burberry shirts I sold last week. One of those went overseas. Any kind of the original Italian or London things. I've sold, a guy bought like 6 neckties for me. They were all Italian brands. They went overseas. It's just odds and end random items. We sold 804 items last month, and I think we shipped 3 overseas.
Oh my gosh.
So I think we shipped 3.
Casey, I don't know how you do that. I can't imagine. I mean, like, I'm small and I've learned, I think the good thing about YouTube is I've learned how to scale when I need to from watching all the big people. That's one benefit of watching like everyone that's so big and, has a anchor store, but I can't imagine that number being 800. That terrifies
So,
me.
I mean, I remember the days when I shipped like 3 a day, 4 a day, and I always have been a seller, but, back in the day, I was a local seller. I sold everything, meeting people on Craigslist. And I remember when I started ramping up the stores 3, 4, 5 years ago, and, I had 100 items or 150 items, and I would sell 1 a day. And I remember just packing that up and doing it. And I remember one particular like random Wednesday or something. I woke up and we had 10 items. I was like, holy crap. Like,
yeah, no, I'd freak out.
And so I spent the next hour went through the packages one by one, making sure everything was legit. I think we didn't sell an item for 2 straight days after that. I was like, oh, whatever.
No, okay, that's what happened to me this past weekend on Monday. I think I shipped out 5 packages. And ever since then, I've made like 2 sales. It's like
the up and downs.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? How does everything
it's perfect. So today's Thursday, so Wednesday. So Tuesday I did, and my average sale price is around $15. It's like $14.80 or something. So I did 28 packages, and we did over, I think, $440, whatever it was. And then yesterday we did 180. We literally sold like 8 or 9, whatever. I think it was 9. And this morning, usually I have a bin, like one of the USPS bins. They bring us one every day. We fill it. We give it back to them. They give us another one. Today, I didn't even hand them the bin. I just handed them the package. I was like, here you go, whatever. And and it was terrible. I mean, 100, and I know 180. I know everyone does big numbers, but you have to remember, for me, I'm supporting people. So $180 is not, a good day for us. And 8 packages is not a good day for us. Thank God they were reasonably, I think I had like a, whatever, $25 average. But it's still like thinking about scaling up. Once you learn how to pack and ship 3 packages or 4 a day or 5 a day, and you move up to 10, you just put in systems, and you'll learn, like at nighttime, when I get done with you, I'm going to go print my labels. We probably have 15 right now. I'll print them and I'll go pull them and they'll be ready. So in the morning, all I have to do is slap the label on, stick it in, and seal it. And so, even if it's 30 items tomorrow, it'll take me 30 minutes, a minute each. I'll just stick the item in, seal it, label on, toss it in the bin, move on. So you start learning to prep. And this is where people start making the excuses. Oh, I don't have time to pack 30 items. I don't have time to ship. I don't have to. Listen, you find a way, because when that kind of money starts rolling in, you start making those sales, you will find a way to do it.
Even little sales, I do mine. I mean, since I've started school, I do mine in the morning. So like, I know if I have a bunch of items, I'll wake up 15 minutes earlier because I have an 8:30 a.m. class. So I usually leave here by like 7:40. And so I do all the shipping in the morning, put it in my trunk, go to class. And when I leave class, it's quicker for me to drive to the post office from LSU than from our condo. So I go right after class, then come home.
And that's the other thing. I hear people say they go to work or they go to school, whatever, and then they're like, oh, I don't have time to get home and get the packages and take them. I'm like, take them with you. Like, you have to set, how you're going to make it happen. I don't believe anyone who tells me they don't have 5 minutes to drop off packages or go on their lunch or whatever. And I always go back to, okay, maybe you don't. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you don't have a lot of time. But if you could do it and turn it into something full time, how much time would you have? So, I mean, you're going to school and you're, in a tough, let's be honest, it's not an easy course that you're doing, or set courses, and you're still going to make time for it. And I imagine in the next few months, if you keep at it, you'll be getting 5 and 10 sales a day, and I'll be willing to bet you find a way to get them out. Yeah,
it's just time management and little stuff like, you're about to go to sleep, run upstairs, ship the packages you have. If you're doing like what I'm doing and you have to ship in the morning, and you have to ship in the morning and then go like after class or work or whatever, ship before bed, then ship in the morning. So you can distribute that up.
I don't imagine many people have, and I know there's a few people that come in my chat that do more sales than me, but most of the people in here do between 1 and 5, maybe some of you do 5 and 10 a day. It's not a lot of time. It's really not a lot of time before you go to bed to take 20 minutes to pack and ship, or, wake up 20 minutes earlier, whatever it is. So it is you hit it, time management. And I think that's probably behind shipping. The second question I get more, it fills my box. Like they give me their schedule. Like I go to school, I go to work, I do this, or I have 4 kids and I don't have kids. So I'm not going to argue with any of you about like your kids take a ton of time.
I don't have kids.
You have one.
Not me.
When I watched your
I
video.
do. I have I might actually.
It's a fur kid.
Yeah, it's a baby.
Well, your mom and your dad were in the chat, so I don't want them thinking something they don't know.
No, they know. Oh yeah, no, my dad. Funny story with that. We actually got Izzy, our baby, our fur baby, Shih Tzu Chihuahua, when we were here one weekend. And I texted my dad and I was like, "We got a dog," and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you did not, right?" Now, I swear, when we go to Arizona to visit them, my dad pays for a ticket to bring our dog. And the first question he asked me is, "How's Izzy doing?" Not me. I mean, who's Catherine, right? It's about Izzy. He'll FaceTime me just so he can FaceTime Izzy. I swear.
My mom does the same. When she watched the dogs when we were in Vegas a couple weeks ago, when she had to go home and stop dog sitting and house sitting, she was like, "Can I take them with me?" I'm like, "No, thanks." They didn't remember who I was. They didn't say hi. They were just clawing at her to go. I'm like, "Yeah, great."
Yeah, when we were in Arizona, they're like, "Oh, she can stay here till the next time you visit." I said, "Have you lost it?" No.
No, the dogs. It's always the grandparents that take the dogs. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you could have told him that a text could have been better that you got a baby instead of a dog. Let him remember that. No, when I watched her video, she started off with about having a kid, and I was like, "No way!" And then she revealed that it was a fur kid, which I should have assumed.
Yeah.
That was funny. I remember watching it. I watched it, was it when I posted your stuff 2 days or 3 days ago? That's when I watched the videos.
Yeah. And if you are on, I guess, I don't know if y'all can see that right now. You go on my channel, my little profile picture is of me and Izzy. So y'all can see her if you would like. And I might actually text Jacob and tell him to release her up here. And she can
there you go. We'll get to see it in person. Everyone loves the fur kids more than us. Okay, so I'm going to move on so we can get to a lot more people's questions. We asked you about basically juggling the time and social media. Remember, guys, time management, really important, especially for those of you that are newer and just getting going. If you don't get the time management and the organization correct now, you will never get it right later. You'll never want to fix it. You'll hate yourself if you don't have an inventory system, organization. It will destroy you later. So make sure you...
And setting up time to list. Like that was a huge thing for me, is I was like, "Oh, I'll list when I feel like it."
No, but you'll never do it.
Yeah, when I first started, I was like, "Oh, what?" I wasn't thinking it was going to turn into like what it is now, like how I view it now, I guess I should say.
Right, yeah.
And
don't do that. To me, listing our stuff now, if I do we'll list it later, we're going to dinner, it will lay here. Will lay here in piles and we will never get ever. So please set a lot of people at eBay Open were talking about setting alarms for like, I want to list for 3 hours, so they block it out. There's Izzy. Does Izzy respond to name? Oh, the ears are up. There it is. So you guys have a new fur kid to enjoy. They love my dogs more than me anyways. You guys know you do. So there you go. When you watch Catherine.
Oh my gosh, Jacob's like behind the camera, and so she's like,
is he like doing the little like looking?
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Okay, go back to Dad.
How often do you list? Great question. How often, Catherine, do you list? How often do you source? Like how many items you think you're getting a week and listing a week? Take a guess. Her store is currently at, I think, like 104 or 108.
No, it was at 103, and then 3 things sold. So I think it's at 100 now. But it depends. So, I mean, definitely before school, I was able to source more. And now I'm still getting the hang of my schedule. I got shipping down as far as when I need to ship, but still trying to get everything figured out. With listing, I've basically figured out there's a time frame every Tuesday and Thursday where I'm home for 4 hours while Jacob's at class. So I've basically dedicated that time to eBay. And also on the weekends for at least 2 hours on Saturday.
Do you have weekend classes, or there's no weekend classes?
No weekend class. No.
No
weekend classes.
She's like, no, don't do that. No,
yeah,
so that's like a great point. Like scheduling around what, whether you have work or you're a student or class or your significant other, you guys everyone knows their schedule. And if you have kids, I know a lot of the moms here, they wait for dad to get home from work or wherever. And then, everyone eats dinner. Kids might be getting a bath or getting ready. And so they kind of let dad take care of 2 or 3 hours and list. So everyone knows their schedule. Everyone knows what you got going on, and you kind of have to work around what you have going on.
Yeah.
Thank
And
God
I've even thought about photographing like for the solid 4 hours on Tuesday and Thursday. And then I have an hour break in between each of my classes. So I've even thought about photographing then. And although I don't like listing from my phone, I could actually even go in the library and list from my laptop. So I might do that. I'm trying to figure out which is more efficient.
So that's actually great. That came up yesterday in a chat with a few of us and somebody else that I talked to, Shelly, as well. So some people like to do, and they do it 2 ways. One of my regulars, Megan Reed, if you haven't watched her, check her out. I don't know if you have, Katherine, but she will take the items. She'll take a stack of 10 and she'll do the desktop descriptions and save each draft. And it has no photos. Gotcha. So it's just a draft with no photos. And then she can open the draft on her phone and snap the photos and add it right into the listing and hit list, and it's done, and then go through all 10. Some people like to take, and I do this, I like to take all 10 photos and then do it in reverse. Take the photos and then create the drafts and throw the photos in. Whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah, everyone is more comfortable with it differently. But some people that have to have their inventory and photograph it and then leave and go somewhere else, like to have the photos done so they can leave the inventory wherever it is. And then wherever they end up, whether it's at office or work or whatever, they can still list their items because they are. We did that when we went to Vegas. We took a bunch of pictures and measurements. And then when we were on the plane, I paid for Wi-Fi. We sat and listed. All we had to do was type the descriptions. Gosh. We had all the photos on it. So that way we didn't lose, 2 days of listing. We literally kept. Well, I listed most of it. Kate did on the way there, but on the way back, we were exhausted. So, whatever's fastest for you, whatever you're most comfortable with. So, again, just you have to try everything out and keep it. You think that's one of your biggest challenges right now? Is you're gonna have to juggle school now that you started. I mean, obviously, but
yeah, but it's also for me coming home from class and telling myself okay, you're gonna get off this couch. You're going to go walk upstairs and you're going to photograph or you're going to list or, it's just, for me, it's all about motivation. Once I get started, I can keep rolling. It's just getting stop watching Food Network and go photograph. That's my transition.
The getting out of bed first thing in the morning. I mean, that's what it goes down to. What do you see for yourself? I mean, so you've gotten started. You're pretty much in a perfect position. Fourth quarter coming up. Do you have a goal for how many listings you want to get to or where you want to be for this fourth quarter?
So I've been trying to start sourcing more, especially since I found that thrift store where I found that Lily Pulitzer dress. I want to try to start going there more because I saw in the back they had a lot of inventory that they haven't put out. So I think they get plenty of donations. They do. So I want to start going there more. I'm definitely going to figure out my schedule. I don't want to set goals too high. But I want to try and have, I don't know, I want by fourth quarter for me to feel better about the amount of items I have in my store. So I would say about 300 is what I'm going to go with.
That's
to
fair.
Try and grow.
So let me see if I can do some math here. August to September, October, November. Before Christmas, you've got 16 weeks. You need 200. So that's 12, 14 a week plus whatever amount you sell.
Yeah.
So assuming you can sell, let's just say you can keep a two piece a day average because fourth quarter is going to go up. Mm-hmm. So that would be you'd have to list 28 items a week, double. So that's how many a day? What is it? 7? That's 4 a day average. Yeah, 4 items a day listed.
That's not bad. And for me, actually, my issue is because I don't have a bins.
Yeah.
So my issue is finding good product, clothing that is, I don't want to get to the point where I want to source so badly that I pay too much. So
don't get desperate. Never. There's too much readily available inventory.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out where I need to continually shop because the thrift store where they do that 50% student discount,
Mm.
I'm not going to shop there unless it's on student discount
Right.
day because they
Right.
price their stuff higher than I would ever pay
Right. Salvation
normally.
Army is the same here. It's too much, but on 50%. Do you have Salvation Army or no?
Oh my gosh. So if I actually watched your video over Salvation Army, I was like, you know what? I don't think I've looked up Salvation Army in Baton Rouge. And I looked one up and it actually flooded during the Great Flood in
Oh
August.
no.
But they're rebuilding it and they said it should be ready in October. So I'm actually expecting it to be ready in like December. But
Well,
it,
that'll be good for after, because first January and February are still good. People have gift cards, so if they open up on time, even November, December, you can get some good stuff.
yeah.
Ruth, thank you so much, Ruth Field, for $2 super chat. Been busy and glad to be back watching live. Well, we're glad to have you here. Somebody just asked me where my
Yes.
zombies are that run across the screen. Unfortunately, with Google Hangouts, you can't do the overlays and the little cool zombie things, which is the only way to have a guest on here. However, my super nerd computer friend, Baron, if you're watching, you are a super nerd, don't deny it, is helping me learn how to do not only the zombies on the individuals, but on these guest chats. So
That'd be awesome.
it's pending. I have to go to his house next week, and he's been playing with it. He's like a coding nerd thing. And once I figure it out, I promise we'll have zombies running across the screen again. But it still will work when I'm by myself. It's just I can't use that third-party program when I have guests because the only way to invite them in is via the Google Hangout. So Google doesn't have an overlay program. Sorry, guys. The zombies are awesome, though. Zombies. Everyone loved the night I had the zombies, people were leaving me dollar chats instead of $5
that was
chats.
hilarious.
Just to keep seeing the zombies run across the screen.
Yeah, it was making it rain in the chat.
Yeah,
So,
Adam, make it. Damn, I won't be able to make it rain zombies. I'll come back on, I promise. All right, so let me keep going. So that was your fourth quarter. She says 300 listings. We'll check back before Christmas and see.
oh gosh, now you're gonna. Oh,
It's the only way to keep somebody true.
I know. Now I've got
It's the only
pressure.
way.
So I want to
Only
answer
way.
this real quick. Beauty Lover said, Catherine, what about garage sale Saturdays? The
Right.
first haul video I uploaded was all from a garage sale. And I love garage sales because I like being able to negotiate rather than thrift stores in my area, which I really can't do that. So I mean, I always look, but this time of year, I'm not really saying anything and I don't expect to all that much. I always look on OfferUp, Craigslist, 5 Miles.
Let Go is one I use.
Let Go, yeah.
When you do the yard sale maps, is there a lot? Is there a ton there?
In April and May, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy hectic. And I always try and hit the ones on Highland Road, which unless you live in Baton Rouge, that's where the big houses are. That's where like $1 million homes are. So I always look along there, and I go to any garage sale where I think there would be good stuff. Like that garage sale that I found, that whole Anthropology BCBG haul at, that was like they had just posted garage sale Saturday.
Wow. And for everyone that doesn't know what she's talking about, her channel link down below, you'll see it. It says Anthropology in the video title. She has a garage sale haul on there, so make sure you go check that out. Good brands. Angela, who is local to me, awesome, very sweet young lady, Angela, wants to know what brands do you like? Which brands do you target? What do you see the most of there?
Okay, I see a lot of women's professional clothing / like college kids clothing. So I see a lot of Anthropology. I see a lot of Ann Taylor Loft and Ann Taylor. I've recently been finding a lot of White House Black Market, which I didn't find in the beginning, but I've learned to love it. Yeah, because people are buying it up. I mean, I listed a shirt and it sold within like 2 hours, which is crazy for me.
Right.
And then
White House Black Market, the tube tops sell really good. The stretchy dresses, $25. I sold a tube top last week for $19.99. Anything like that. White House Black Market is one of the best brands that I get. I get it all the time. And I didn't realize why, and I'm not a woman, sorry guys, but that stuff's like $80 retail. I had no idea.
And it's really comfortable. Like I sold a women's business tank top that you can tell pretty much is meant to be worn with a blazer. And those sell so quickly because they're soft, stretchy material. They're easy to layer with. White House Black Market's pretty good about that.
They are. And that stuff is expensive. Like it's crazy how much money that stuff is. I was guessing. I think I said something about like one of the tops I had. I was like, what is that? Like $40 retail. And a friend of ours wife brought it up online. She goes, try 89. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Colorado Tex, thank you for the super chat. Thanks, Rockstar. All your advice has helped me. How are you doing after your surgery, buddy? I know I got a check-in from you that you were having a little bit of some complications. Hopefully you're doing good. He had the back of his neck spine area surgery, so hopefully you're feeling better. Beauty Lover, some of Black House is $140. That is crazy. Angela, the Salvation Army. We are lucky, Angela, the Salvation Army. Make sure if you have questions, I'm going to start taking all of them. Throw them over in the chat for Katherine. Katherine's dad, I didn't say that to you earlier. I did. Your dad was in the chat too. Joe, is that Joe? Is his name?
Yes.
Yeah. So Katherine's whole crew joined us. It's awesome.
They did.
What Giselle Bushy says, there's everything $2 Goodwill on Highway 90 in Scott, Louisiana, I think between Metairie and Baton Rouge.
What? No.
There you go. There, see what you get from being here?
Yeah, I've only seen the one that's by the pound, but it's already, we were talking about that before. It's pretty pathetic. So this must be a different.
Who was that? Was that Giselle Bushy? Is that a regular Goodwill retail for Katherine, or is that something attached to it, or where she says on Highway 90 in Scott, which was exactly where
yeah, that's right where we were looking. Huh. Because the Goodwill right in front of that's a regular Goodwill.
Maybe that's it. Is there a certain day for that?
I don't know. Huh. Please reply, because
my sister lives at Baton Rouge and is a teacher at LSU. What does she teach, Scott? And Thrifty Cajun Girl says she lives near Scott, Louisiana. So apparently there's some places that you might be missing.
Hey.
So
let me know about them.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys what. Either comment in this video below or go over to Katherine's channel and pick one of her videos and comment on it and let her know where these locations are if they're good for sourcing. Giselle, that one on 90 sucks. Ben G says, we have a lot of people in Louisiana, it looks like. Josh Furch knows Giselle. Where did all you Louisiana people come from? I gotta come down.
I don't know.
It's usually this Texas people that are like hoarding the chat, but today is Louisiana. I will tell you the one thing that I will definitely come visit all y'all with. I went to a trade show called CTIA. It's a wireless trade show when I sold a lot more electronics. We went in the summer. It was May of 2000 and 2013, maybe. Yeah, 13. It was definitely 13. And we went to New Orleans. The trade show was at the rebuilt convention center. Obviously, after the storm, they rebuilt it. And we ate so much Cajun food. We went to all the down-home places. And I was like fat. Yeah. Like I should not have ate what I ate. Yeah. And I mean this in the nicest way. I flew into New Orleans, a friend of mine that drove picked me up. And the city, he got me from the airport, as we crossed over what is the big high? Is that 90?
I-10?
10, I-10, yes, the one over top of New Orleans, I-10. I saw the water lines on the buildings because this is only 4 years after Katrina. And you could see where the water had stopped, like 2 floors up. Mm-hmm. And the city still smelled like water and mildew. It didn't smell very good. And I'd never been to New Orleans. And I was kind of taken aback by it when we got into the city. But when we got down to the waterfront by the bridge and in the convention center, we ate all along those restaurants. And I fell in love with New Orleans, the food, the people, even after everything they went through, it was amazing. And I want to go back just to eat and see the people. They were so friendly, so nice. And it was amazing. As bad as the city, as bad a shape as it was still in, it was horrible. It was an amazing city. And my friend Jay, who now lives in San Francisco, said the same thing. He calls me all the time. He's like, we're going to go back to New Orleans. We're going to go back to New Orleans. I'm like, we have got to go back to New Orleans. So
come to Baton Rouge. If everyone in Scott probably knows what I'm talking about, we have a George's, or multiple George's here. It's a po' boy shop that's been there since at least the 80s. And it's tiny. But I have never had a better shrimp po' boy in my existence. Like when we first moved here, oh my gosh. Immediately like 5 pounds. Can't help it. I mean, the thick French bread, the fried shrimp,
We had some,
it's,
yeah. I can't remember the restaurant, but we had some in New Orleans, but I'm sure it was more touristy and probably not as good. But it was amazing. And then they gave us like all the side, like the big potatoes that were cooked in the pot with the shrimp and everything. And it had all the spices and all the flavor of the shrimp over. The two of us sat and ate for like 3 hours and didn't want to get up. And neither of us could get up, but it was incredible. That was some of the best food. So Cajun is amazing. The people are amazingly friendly. Some people said to come visit. So I'm from Maryland, and crabs are like second to none there. And as much as I love the crabs, Cajun food was pretty close, I got to say. Incredible. We were there for 5 days, and it was awesome. Like, best time ever. So I'm going to come visit. I won't come poach your guys' thrift stores, though, I promise. I don't thrift on vacation. Not much. Okay. Everyone, Thrifty Treasures, Tanya says she's hungry now.
Yeah, you're going to be.
Paul says your eBay store link is a dead end. I don't think I had a problem with it.
Yeah, I tested it and it worked.
All right, let me go to Kat. I'm going to test it right now. Paul, refresh your browser and go back in. I'm clicking on her page now. Just give me just a half a second here.
Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I have to go to the restroom.
She has to. I kept her. She's at the hour mark.
Yes, I'm at the hour mark. I'll be right back.
No problem. I'm going to check Catherine's closet right now and make sure her eBay store is working for you guys. But the reason that I had Katherine on tonight, I know some people are probably wondering, she's got a smaller store. I know a lot of you guys are in the that newer stage. And so I want to have somebody that you guys can relate to and somebody that you can go watch. And so that's why I brought Katherine on. And I thought it was a great chance for you guys to get to know some of the newer sellers. I'm going to have newer sellers on. And she's showing you guys how it's possible to be a seller and have a job, or be a seller and have college. So I just clicked on her store. I follow her store. It popped right up. So you should have no problem getting to Catherine's closet. If you need to find it manually, it's just Katherine with a K. Catherine's, S at the end, KATHERINES _ closet, CLOSET. And you should be able to find her store pretty quickly that way. So thank you guys for joining. We're going to let Katherine go as soon as she gets back. We won't hold her up too much longer. I've never been to Mardi Gras. A lot of people asking. So take some more questions while we're waiting on her. Nothing like summer blue crab feast up north. Absolutely blue crabs. Go Falcons. Click on the About link in our YouTube channel. Use the link from there. Absolutely. Looks like we got a lot of cool people. Catherine's a sweetheart. She did an awesome job. Her first live show, so make sure you guys go over and subscribe to her channel. Not nervous at all. She's a natural on the camera, so great job, Katherine, when you see this later. And to Catherine's parents, thank you for being in the chat as well. Sounds like she's coming back. To Catherine's Izzy, thanks, Izzy, for joining the chat as well. I just want to go to the Goodwill there. Thrifty Cajun says, I just want to go to the Goodwill. So a lot, yeah. So that was the point. I'll tell you guys what, I don't allow this often, but in the comment section of this video, for those of you that don't know, when the live show ends, it takes about 5 or 10 minutes to process, and then it'll show up on my channel. If you come back to my channel right away, it's not going to show up. It takes it, just Google has to process it and throw it up. Once it's up, come back and go down in the comment section and feel free to not only leave comments for Katherine for her to read a little bit later. If you want to link stores, that's fine. We'll do it for this time. Everyone else said that your store link is working, so don't worry.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and they'll make sure you can follow her store. And if she doesn't get to 300 listings, or she's not on pace to get to 300, send her messages.
Yell at me.
Tell her that she's slacking. Absolutely. Don't do it on eBay, though, guys. Do not send us eBay messages unless it's about an eBay item. Send it in YouTube or comment. Yes, yeah, please do not. Please do not message us on eBay.
DM me on Instagram, anything.
Yeah, her Instagram. Oh yeah, her Instagram should be down below. I think I put it down below. It's Katherine 3 underscores, right? Yeah,
Catherine's _ closet, but there are 3 of them.
Right, there's 3 underscores. So if you see it, it looks like 1, it's 3. So I told everyone that kind of the reason that I invited you on and that I was glad to have you is a lot of people are in your position, 100 listings, 200 listings, 50 listings. They're kind of getting their flow going. So it's good to see somebody else that's on that level as well. You know, I know a lot of people see me, I'm bigger. It is what it is. I've been doing this a while. So I know it's not as relatable, and I know they like to learn from me, but I know what it's like to have somebody relatable. Even at my level, because remember guys, when I was in Vegas, I met a guy doing $5 million a month. So
That's
He had 58,000 listings, I believe. 10 or 15 employees, whatever it was he had. I look at that guy and I'm like, hi. Like, I don't know what to think at somebody at that level. So it's cool. You know, I have a lot of people that are relatable to me, Luke and Jason and Chris. And so we kind of, you know, I know what it's like to have someone relatable. So I like that you guys have people to look up to as well. Rantisms. I love that name. Who came up with that? Rantisms. Thanks for all the content. I need that name. I'm going to steal it. Super helpful. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see. What do I think about 15? Oh, I don't know about that. 5 million doing what? Clothes. Mix of clothes. Giselle Bushy said 1742 Highway 90 New Iberia.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that the outlet?
I think so.
Maybe the retail store's attached to it, or they have special days. Joe Peoples, drive time with Dave is, I hope, at his house asleep or going to sleep. I talk to him on a daily basis. He's been really busy. This is his busy season for his business from June through like September and October. So that's why he's been kind of MIA, just in case anyone was wondering. Let's see what else. I missed some Xbox. A couple people missed. If you missed the chat, is great. Make sure you rewind, watch the replay, and then go check out Katherine's channel. Please at least go check it out. Give her a like, give her a subscription.
More content is coming. I promise.
More is coming. And I'm not going to hold her to her eBay listing goals as much as you guys can. I'm going to hold her to the YouTube because I think that she's going to have some good content that will help you guys. And like I said, relatable and on your level. So she needs to put out that content. I'm going to take a few more for just a couple more minutes, and because I'm going to have to get the wrecking crew, speaking of, shortly. And so let's grab the last few questions, and then I will let her get back to her regular scheduled programming as well. Katherine should get some wholesale stuff. That's one thing I'm going to jump on until you've got like an established store and things. I don't think wholesale is kind of the best route. It's best to start with the thrifting. Especially with her schedule, to be able to go through the wholesale might be a little overwhelming at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And I've tried to like look at stuff, but it's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I can tell you from experience, and I'm not gonna say that like people aren't motivated to like drive through it, but when you go to a thrift store and you bring home a couple of bags and you can kind of wrap your head around it because you bought it, you sourced it, you're ready. When somebody dumps a pallet on your front step, it's like, did I just buy it? Even to me now, today, when I buy pallets here and there, it is just a whole nother beast, and it just takes it drains you. It drains every ounce of work and motivation out of you. Like, think about something you work on for a while and you're trying to put a dent in it. That's what it is. So wholesale is something you have to really get, a system in place and have time. So if you want to do it, by all means, knock yourself out. Take video of it. Let me see how it works out for you. But it's a lot of work. Be prepared. Angela, do I source late in the afternoon or early in the morning? Typically, I go first thing to Wesley Chapel. Angela's local, so she'll know what I mean. I go to Wesley Chapel. I come south to North Tampa, and then I end up at the Adamo store third, which is typically around, say, noon or 1, because the first store is at 9, an hour there till 10, an hour at the other store 11, plus some driving time. Earliest I can get to Adamo is about 12 or 1. Just message me, Angela, and I can give you a heads up next week, and we can get together. We'll meet up. We can do lunch. Bring your man with you. We'll figure it out.
So I have 2 questions I wanted to answer. One was from earlier that I saw. Someone asked me where I bought my floral background.
Yes, I did see that.
It's I got it off eBay. I think it was like $14. Now, warning, I didn't know this when I ordered it. It does come folded up. So have a steamer, because I had to buy one.
Oh,
it was. That was
well. The steamer will work for you in the future, anyways. Trust me.
Yeah, no, it was worth it. I've already used it probably 20 times. And then another one I saw. Oh, Jacob just answered it, but Deb Motaz.
Yep, Deb Motaz. She's local to me, sweetheart.
Oh, got you. Yeah, I have an Instagram, and we were talking about it earlier. It's Katherine's ____ closet.
3 underscores. Deb, if you don't find it, message me after the chat. You got my number. Message me and I'll send it to you. Is that your Jacob King, your boyfriend?
Yes.
Oh, it is. I figured. I assumed. I thought so.
Yeah, I told him. Oh yeah, and then of course, what do you see? The M Sport. I told you. It's an
Oh,
obsession.
I did see
I
that. That's
told you.
good man. Good man. You picked a good
Oh,
one. See
I
that?
told when we first saw your video, he was watching it with me and he said, "Does he have an i8?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Katherine, you need to start reselling." Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Yep, there it is. Jacob just put it in there for us. Steamer from where and how much? Mystery person, 43. Where'd you get yours?
Amazon for like $15.
Yep, that's where we got ours. Yep.
I wonder, I think,
Yeah,
oh
you
my
don't
God.
need anything crazy fancy. The steamers, trust me, they'll do the job.
Yeah.
15, 20 bucks, you're all set.
Yeah, some people say, "Oh, well, it spits out water every once in a while." I don't really care. I mean, it's 15 versus like $60.
Right. And remember, I used to be the same way. When you steam these shirts and then you put them out and you take your photos, when you take those photos and list them and then you put them in your, you hang them or put them in your bin, they're going to dry. I mean, pretty quick. It literally, it's no problem. And typically when we steam stuff, I know it as soon as I bring it in. I'm like, hey, check out this shirt. We'll do it first, and then I'll go through all the good stuff and photograph that and give the other stuff a few minutes to set. So it's not a big deal. You don't need. I seen somebody buy an $89 steamer, and I was like, oh, I don't own an $89 steamer. Just saying.
Yeah.
So
Most
water
stuff you don't
dries.
even have to steam. It's really only like select items
Right.
that you
I don't
need it for.
like. Somebody just asked me to buy this, by the way. Whoever Rob Deals, I think, asked. This had a couple wrinkles. It took me 30 seconds to steam out of this, and it was fine. Yes, I am not listing this online. I think Rob Deals asked me about it. If you're seriously interested about it, send me a message. I'll talk to you privately because there was a few issues with this that I don't want to talk about on camera if you didn't catch it. But if you are interested, I'll get it to you. Let's just leave it at that. So don't ask.
Thank everyone. I have the live chat up on my phone and I'm constantly seeing Instagram notifications of following me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I just like talking to y'all, going live on my story and just chatting in between classes,
There you go.
Fun.
So yeah. So thank you guys for using the links and going over to her channel and her YouTube. I imagine when I check Social Blade for her YouTube subscriptions later, there'll be quite a few. So I appreciate everyone giving her a shot and going over there. I know you won't be disappointed. More content. If you want them to stay over there, it's up to you now. I did my part.
I'm doing it.
I listen, I love that you guys will have somebody to watch. And besides just her content, the recorded videos, I highly recommend doing live videos. I'm sure you guys want to see it. I'm sure everyone in the chat will agree. They love the live videos. So you've done it. Now you're ready to go. If you need any help setting up the live videos, just let me know. I'll teach you how to set them up, but they're pretty easy. So
yeah, no, I definitely want to. I wanted to wait until I had a little bit more of a base so that when I start, if not like 2 people join in, like, oh, let's just have an individual conversation, So.
They'll come to you, and especially after tonight. But if you ever do, just give me a heads up of the live show time. The only time that and I don't own the airwaves, but 9 p.m. Thursdays is the only time that I'm always live.
I promise.
So no, you feel free. Take the 9 p.m. slot. I would be asleep on Thursdays, trust me. But anytime that you do go live, just tell me, and I can always just shoot everyone a message. So, but they're gonna subscribe to you, so they'll get the notification anyway. So. Big thumbs up, Katherine. Some people said you were a natural while you were gone at the restroom. So I think she did a great job. You guys enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm excited. I'm happy that you were on, and I want to let her get back to life. And Jacob and Izzy, and thank you, Katherine's mama and dad. I didn't catch your mom's name, but Joe and Carol.
And she goes by Ann. Yeah, Carol and.
Okay, gotcha. So thank you for the parentals joining the chat if they're still here. Thank you, everyone in the chat. If you have any further questions, comments, concerns, complaints, see our complaint department, anything else, feel free to leave down in the description box below. And make sure you use the links over to Katherine's channel. Anything else you want to say?
No. Oh, someone said to do 10 p.m. right after you. Just
Absolutely.
Like as soon as you end, follow up. Give people
you could,
solid hours.
Because when I roll out of here, I'll leave the link that you're jumping on. So feel free if that's how late you want to go. I'll stick around and watch if you do. Thank you, everyone. Thanks everybody who stayed up. 235 people. Give the like button before you leave.
Thank you, all of you.
Times.
Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
Whenever you like got in contact with me and we were talking, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, Jacob, you don't understand. I've been watching Casey's videos forever, And then you said you wanted to do live. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank all of everyone for tuning in. This is crazy. I'm so happy to talk to all of y'all and get to, have us communicate back and forth rather than just recorded videos. It's
Right.
really
So
exciting.
she'll be live soon with you guys. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, each and every Thursday. Make sure you're back, turn on the notifications so you don't miss anything, and do the same for Katherine's channel. Adios, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.